being recorded, as I just said. So if there are colleagues that you know are not able to attend today, we will have a video that will be available after the event to share. And to ensure the recording quality, we're going to ask that, and also to save on bandwidth, we're going to ask that if you are not speaking, presenting, asking a question, or answering a question, that you do turn your audio, you mute your audio, as well as turn off your camera. And we would love for, if you would, to take a moment, since there are so many of us that are participating, which we are so excited about, if you would take a moment to introduce yourselves in the chat. If you would include your name, your organization, what role you play in that organization, or your title. Just say hi to the attendees that are on with us today. So most of our time will be answering questions. And so we would like for you, as we are presenting on the first half of the webinar, to go ahead and put your questions in the chat. And then during the second half of the interview, we will address those questions in the chat first and open it up for you to raise your hand and ask your questions live if you would like to as well. So without further delay, I do want to turn it over to Sharon Miller, who is the Talent Pipeline Director with Consumers Energy and also the co-chair of the Michigan Energy Workforce Development Consortium. She's going to formally welcome you all, as well as provide an overview of Careers in Energy Week. Sharon, take it away.
Thanks so much, Marcia, and welcome everybody. It's been a good summer. Unfortunately, we had some storms this week, so we do have a few of our people out, including my co-chair, Chris Husang from DTE, was unable to join us today. But on behalf of both Chris and I want to welcome everybody to this conversation today about how we're going to have an incredibly successful Careers in Energy Week this year. It will be observed October 17th through the 21st. So if this is your first year joining us, welcome. The week is about increasing awareness of the career pathways, the jobs, the career-changing opportunities that are available to people in the energy industry. And what we try to do is to provide information about our energy companies, education and training programs that are available, those career pathways that will help both students and career changers to find their way into our roles. We also like to promote data about the impact of the energy sector on the local economy and our impact on the clean energy agenda. And those are all things that we will encourage you to highlight as you go through the course of the week. Due to the pandemic, though, the last 2 years, we have not been able to do this in person. And it was quite a different experience for us the last 2 years. And I want to take my hat off to the committee members and all those of you who innovated and pivoted, were agile, use all those words to describe what we did. We learned a lot, and there are some of those things that we will continue to do. But this year, we're really excited that we're going to be able to do some in-person things. At least we hope that that's the case. We're keeping our fingers crossed, but it appears to be the case. So nationally, this is the 12th year for Careers in Energy Week, but it is our 8th year celebrating it. And it started back 8 years ago with a proclamation from our governor declaring the week as Careers in Energy Week. And each year we go back and get that proclamation that is underway right now. That was followed 8 years ago by a joint press release, first ever from Consumers Energy and DTE about Careers in Energy Week. And since then, this has grown into something that includes multiple energy providers, industry associations, schools, state agencies, the workforce development partners, everybody hosting things like tours, virtual job fairs, webinars, panels, welding contests. We've even had a scavenger hunt. There's a lot of different things that you can do to engage students, and we want each of you to join us for Careers in Energy Week in 2022 with an event or an activity. This work is coordinated every year by our career awareness and communication committees. And today you're going to hear from the three co-leads of those committees. Alicia Harris, who is Manager of Employment Strategies at DTE Energy, Michelle Mitchell, Strategic Talent Pipeline Program Manager at Consumers Energy, and Brina Pugh, Manager of Government and Community Relations at the Lansing Board of Water and Light. And she's also the Vice Chair for our Communications Committee. Now I'm going to turn things over to Alicia, who will share what's planned for this year and how you can get involved. Thank you for joining us. And with that, I'll hand it over to Alicia.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Appreciate it. So as Sharon said, we are crazy excited about this year, right? Because we are in person. We're going to do in-person activities. And so, for the last 2 years during the pandemic, we worked really hard to do some engaging activities, albeit they were virtual. They were, a work of love, if you will. We did have some good successes and we learned from them, just like she said. The thing is though, the last 2 years, what we've done is they were all Mutic sponsored events, whereas prior to the pandemic, we had events that were more so, we had multiple hosts, be it schools, be it energy companies, contract companies, just a lot of different companies threw their hat in and hosted events. So let's talk about what we have planned thus far for 2022. And let's talk about some of the targets that we talked about having. So when it comes to our targets, our goal is throughout Michigan, we want to have at least 10 events, and we're trying to get only 500 participants in those events. We also have a stretch goal, right? That stretch goal would be to have 15 events, right? And then, the appropriate number of participants for those different 15 events. Now, right now, what we have confirmed, and it's on the screen, right now, what we have confirmed is we have some things that are going to happen in different parts of the state, the lower parts of the state, and also the upper parts of our state. Consumers Energy is planning to host something at the Marshall Training Center. DTE Energy is going to host something in downtown Detroit in Beacon Park. Lansing Board of Water and Light will play host to something at their headquarters in Lansing. And then we have Traverse City, which is going to do something at the North Educational Career Technical Center. Youth Solutions has come aboard saying that they've got various schools in Michigan where they're going to offer something related to careers in energy week. So we do have some people on board right now. And if you go to the next slide, we also have more opportunities for 2022. So right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to hand it over to Michelle so she can talk about some different methods that we may be able to use to fill up this page where we've got other opportunities that can be offered. So with that, I'll hand it over to Michelle from Consumers Energy, my my co-worker, if you will, for the last few years. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Alicia. So my name is Michelle Mitchell, and I am the Talent Pipeline Project Manager for Consumers Energy. Amber Fogarty and Callie Curtis are also members of our team, and we're going to be working together to share some ideas with you for 2022. So when we ask you to host an event, that does not mean it has to be a tour. It does not have to be a large scale event. Just break it down and think small. We just want you to start with awareness. So we wanted to give you some tried and true ideas to help you celebrate Careers in Energy Week, but make it appealing and able and capable for you. So you could do something as small as meet your superintendent and just introduce yourself to them and let them know who you are and that there's some events going on for Careers in Energy Week, and share the Get Into Energy website. And then you could also, I see some local community colleges online, you could host an open house. And that would be something you could work with another partner on, hosting an open house. You could talk about your line worker program. KVCC could talk about wind energy. And then you could do a go and see. So go to another event and see what's taking place. Let us know, the 4 of us that already have our events set up for dates and times. You could let us know you're interested and you could attend with us. We'd love to have you. You could just post a career a day on your social media channels. very simple on Instagram. You could post it on Facebook, LinkedIn, and you can just highlight one of your jobs or careers that's available to engage interest in the energy industry. You could interview a line person and post that on social media. Maybe it could be a live interview, like a virtual go and see using a GoPro. That's a great way. So Lewis Tree, Cap and Tree service I see on here, all Michigan-based tree companies that work with utilities, you could host something like that. That would be fantastic if you can't do it in person. You could host a local tour like Consumers Energy is doing of our Michigan Marshall Training Center, excuse me. You could host a small contest. So you could do it virtually. You could use a Goose Chase app. You could use a different platform, maybe to utilize to ask questions, to get students engaged or classrooms engaged through teachers. Connect with a legislator, just talk about energy, let them know what's going on in the energy industry, ask them if they have any questions, invite them to your event or an event. You could sponsor a workshop for students to earn a Scout badge or patch like Consumers Energy has. It's really easy to do online and it's free and simple. And you can visit our getintooenergy.com and take the career quiz, which is very, very simple. So does anyone else have any ideas you want to throw in the chat for any events that you could think of that are tried and true or simple or things you've done in the past? Okay, I don't see anything and I don't hear anything and I don't see any hands raised. The next slide is just what Alicia already kind of talked about for 2020 events and activities. We do have tours that are going to be going on. We have demonstrations from Traverse City Light and Power. We've got lunch and learns. That's a great opportunity. It could be in person or virtual. We have a reverse job fair that Lansing Board Water and Light is hosting, as well as a tour. Or you could just have a virtual booth or an in-person booth like DTE's offering. And then you could also, I love it, Sharon, bring your child to work. That's a great opportunity. Or maybe you have someone that's interested in the energy industry, your neighbor's child, and you could bring them in as a job shadow. That's a simple yet effective way to get involved. So we just want you to think small, start small, don't overwhelm yourself, and just have fun with it. If you only have one student do a job shadow, or you have 50 students or 500 students, the outcome that we want to see is just getting students and parents and educators interested and aware of careers in energy. So that's what we're asking you for an action item, is just to become a part of this. Start small, partner with someone, and if you need any ideas, come to myself, Alicia, Marcia, Brina. We are willing and able to help you with whatever you need. So now I am going to turn it over to the fabulous Brina with Lansing Board of Water and Light to talk about communications.
Thank you, Michelle. So to kind of tie all of this together, we have the communications piece of it. So as Sharon mentioned, we have a press release that we put out every year highlighting Careers in Energy Week and what we're doing as a consortia. We also have
I'm in
a
webinar for energy. It's Energy Week. That's happening in October.
sorry, what was that?
Nope, go ahead, Brina, you're all set.
Okay, sorry. Additionally, we put out the proclamation every year, which comes then from the governor's office, and they announce that it's Careers in Energy Week. And then we also use all of our social media platforms and our website. We have a newly revamped in the last couple of years during the pandemic website, which we will use to pull all of the events that everybody's hosting. So one of the action items you'll see today is the Google form that you'll be able to fill out if you're having an event. We'll pull all of the events from that and we'll create one big Careers in Energy Week 2022 Facebook page or website page where we will have every single event listed and you'll be able to promote whether that's an internal event, an external event. It will all be there in one place. And then we will take all of that and then post it out onto our social media. So we have Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter are the main social media platforms that we use for the consortium right now. We're definitely open to other ones if people have thoughts on what is a great platform. So we just need to get as much information from you as we can when you fill out that form, as far as what are your websites, what are your social media handles, so we can promote you as much as possible. So we want to help with that cross promotion of your event to make sure we're getting it out to all of the right audiences. And then we also have a hashtag, which you'll see at the end of this presentation, that we can all post on to boost up all of our posts together and make sure this is kind of a concentrated effort here. So our website also has lots of great resources available. It connects to the CEWD website, which has lots of great resources for students to learn about what kind of careers they may want to get into, and lots of stuff that's already been recreated out there, so we don't have to recreate the wheel on this one. There's lots of stuff that you guys can just take and use for your own social media platforms. And we also do a bit of a toolkit once we get closer to the actual events, where we'll send out some example posts that you guys can use to put on your social media platforms as well, to make it easier for you, as we are a municipal utility, so we understand a lot of the struggles of the smaller organizations where it's harder for you to have somebody to dedicate to all of these things. So as Michelle said, we're just trying to make it very easy for everybody to participate and lift up the energy industry as a career. So that's really all I have for communications. I'm going to put in the chat links to our website and all of our social media platforms right now. And I think I'm handing it back to Marcia.
Thank you. Thank you, Brina. Really appreciate all of the presentations, for all of the information that's available, what we have planned, what the opportunities are, as well as how we want to assist with communication. So there is a call to action. Sharon mentioned in her opening comments to have each of our MEWDC partners and members and stakeholders to join us in this Careers and Energy Week for 2022. We heard Alicia talk about how excited we are to be able to do things in person again. While the last 2 years were really successful and there was some innovation that really came out about how do we promote career awareness, career exploration, for the energy industry from a virtual perspective. Now we can add all of that together, what we have virtually, what we had done in person, to have a real robust week here in Michigan. So it was talked about that there's a form that's available if you would like to, really tell us about your event so that we can help promote what's going on our website. Brina talked about that page that's going to be on there. And here is just a little peek at the form. We're just asking for your name, your contact information, the type of event that you are going to have, your event details, everything that you can include so we can really help promote when it is, what time it is, where it's going to be, what your capacity is, the social media channels and the websites that you're going to be using, if you're going to have a contest, and any other information that you would like to provide to us. But also on this form, there is a question: would you like to collaborate with another MEWDC member? And so if you check that, and if you provide us some information, if you're not sure about the members, who you might collaborate with, our career awareness team, myself, Brina, we can help you to make those connections and to make those introductions as well. So that is the form. It's really easy to fill out and submit back to us. And then Brina also mentioned some resources. And so we will certainly share this presentation after the webinar, but here's some of those resources that she mentioned. Certainly we'll have the recording that's available. Our website is really good, careersinenergyin Michigan.com. especially when you're looking at partners, when you're looking at members of MEWDC and those collaboration opportunities, they're all listed there. As we mentioned, our subject matter experts with Career Awareness Committee, and just lots of experience, both from a virtual perspective and an in-person perspective prior to the pandemic. And then, of course, the Center for Energy Workforce Development, who is a national nonprofit that's a consortium of energy companies, associations, labor, and other entities, government, really bringing together all this work nationally. We work very closely with them. And this particular page, their collateral page, they have lots and lots of resources that are really great, videos and one-pagers of information, lots of ideas as we address this work. So that's the information that we had available for you. And as I said initially, we really wanted to provide as much information for you to ask questions. Hopefully we have stirred your thoughts about some ideas of how you might join MEWDC for 2022 Careers in Energy Week. And so what questions do you have? So I'm going to reach out to Michelle to see if there were any questions that were in the chat.
Yes, thank you, Marcia. There
Thank
was one
you.
about the presentation, asking if they could get a copy of it, and Marcia is going to send that out to everyone that was invited.
Yes.
So the other question was, Sharon had a question about what was the name of the scavenger hunt app that we mentioned. We have used Goose Chase in the past. There is a fee for it if you use it, or you could see if you could partner with Oakland Schools. They do have a license for it. And we have also used Kahoot, which is free, and that is a question-based type trivia game. If you wanted to do something in the classroom or virtually, asking students like how much do they think like a line worker earns, or questions like that. And we have another question. What works best? Have we learned others that don't work well? So who would like to take that question? I would have to say, from my perspective as consumers energy and doing this, virtual things currently don't work well because a lot of students have been inundated with virtual because of COVID. So I would recommend if you can have something in person that's engaging, hands-on. When we do our summer energy academies, the students learn best when they're engaged, hands-on with current employees in the workforce, because they showcase their love and their passion for their career and their job. So that's what I would recommend, tours and hands-on. And Alicia, you have your hand up, so go ahead, please.
Sure, I was going to add basically the same. In terms of virtual, it hasn't been the best thing for us because sometimes we've tried to coordinate multiple schools. Everyone come in at 9 o'clock, but the reality is their school period may begin at 8:50 or another's begins at 9:15 or something like that. So it's just not easy to just have everyone come at the same time, especially from different schools. So it gets very difficult coordinating that.
Good point, thank you. Any other additions to that question or that response, Sharon?
Michelle, I would add that it seems to work well when we work directly with CTE programs, career and technical education programs. So if you're a company and you're wanting to do something, I would either connect with actually one of the big three. I would go to a community college, I would go to a workforce development agency like Michigan Works, or I would go to a career and tech ed center, because they have access to the students directly or to the job seekers directly. And I would work collaboratively with them to put my event together. We can promote it through Michigan Energy, and we will promote it through MEWDC, but I think having those active partners who are engaging with our students on a regular basis, that's where the real bang for your buck comes in if you're a company.
Thank you, Sharon. Those are great ideas. And I think you get the MVP award for ideas in the chat too.
Oh, well, I don't have to deploy them. I just think of them.
They're great ideas. I love the essay contest. It brought back a lot of memories from high school.
Mhm.
Tom asked, how do we get to try the Goose Chase or try that app? Tom, go ahead and partner with me and I can get you in contact with Andy Maurer from the Oakland schools, and we can share that information with you. And then Antoine asked, do you have dates for the events? We do have the week of October 17th through the 21st. The event for consumers I know is on Wednesday, October 19th. As for DTE and LBWL and Traverse City Light and Power, I don't know those exact dates yet, but they will go up on the website for MUDIC for our website, and schedule of events for 2020. So you'll be able to see those once those are posted. I know Brina will do a fabulous job of getting that information to us and we'll share it with all of you. And then I saw another one about a media toolkit. Brina, do you want to answer that question? Will there be a media toolkit available to share with the communications director?
Yeah, I did put an answer in the chat too, but we'll have a very brief social media toolkit that will show kind of like the hashtags we're using, links to our social media channels and our website, and a couple of example posts.
And we'll be providing the press release for anyone who would want to issue that for their own company.
Perfect. And Brina does a great job of putting it all together with the communications team. DTE's event is Tuesday on 10/18. If your event is an invite only event, please let us know that. So when we post it on the website, that we make them aware of that and we can list the contact for the invite only. If it's something that you're going to be posting on your social media channels or on your website, please share those links with us on that form that you're going to fill out so we can attach those as well if possible. And BWL is Monday on 10/17 and Friday 10/21. And I don't know if Traverse City Light and Power is able to share their date in the chat. One other thing I thought of as well, because I don't see any other questions. If you have contact information, once we share the event calendar with you, please share that with your network. Make sure you make them aware of Careers in Energy Week. Send them a save the date. Even if you can't host an event in your area, we would love it for you to collaborate with us and share the information with other school districts, counselors. We will send it out to the Mission Counselors Association, Michigan High School Counselors Association. We have a contact there that we work with. I know Leo does a fantastic job of sending it out to their contact list, and then we will send it out to our members for MUDIC. Marcia will take care of that and any others. So Marcia, I don't see any other questions. Brina or Alicia or Sharon, is there anything that I missed that we want to touch upon before Marcia closes us out?
So I do want to put a particular emphasis this year on diversity outreach and making sure that we're as inclusive as we possibly can be as we schedule our events. I was thinking particularly about women and about how our industry is so far behind in getting women into these career pathways. And one of the top topics we've been talking a little bit about is athletic programs and how soccer and students who play basketball, women who play basketball, might be very good candidates for our skilled trade positions. And so I wanted to throw that out there as one more possibility in terms of types of events. If you could go to a sporting event and promote Careers in Energy, talk to your local school districts about that, have your local colleges there to present about the training programs that are available, hook up with a coach and go to a practice session, do something like that. I also want to say that our communities that are most underrepresented as well, I think it's really important that we get creative in that space and that folks try to do an event that would be inclusive across the board. So just wanted to make that last pitch before we sign off today, Michelle.
That's a great pitch. I really appreciate that. This is Renard Richmond from Detroit at Work. I know we have some community partners on the line, and I was wondering if a science Olympic, or be more specific to energy, but construction science Olympics would be appropriate to have as an event and part of the Careers in Energy Week.
That would be incredible. to organize it on short notice. I wish you well and know that we'll be here for you.
Right.
That's pretty ambitious.
Yeah, we may have to scale it back and try and do something next year and be prepared. But I'm thinking that, to the comment that was just made or the suggestion that we've used that technique of working with coaches in Detroit Public School to identify those who might be candidates for the skilled trades. So I know that it works. It's proven it works. But I was thinking of the Science Olympics would be more in line with what used to be called VICA, but I think it's called I think it's something for America now, Skills for America or something of that nature for the skilled trade. But if we could do something like that, and I think that would be extraordinary. Really bring excitement, visibility, and exposure to young people and the community as what the jobs
Yes.
are out there and the
Yeah.
competition. It just brings everything together. So to our
The
partners
Energy
out there,
Olympics.
Detroit Public Schools, DTE, and I don't know if WC3 is on the line, but I can definitely mention it to them.
That's a great idea, Renard. Thank you so much. That's exciting. And hey, if you're able to pilot something even small this year, we will be watching closely and looking at that as a potential, maybe we could get something going statewide over time. Look at that. Michelle's got the Olympics out there already. Very good, Michelle.
All right.
Yes, that's
Well,
exciting. Energy Olympics. Energy Olympics.
Energy
That's a good
Olympics.
term.
There we go.
Yep.
I like it. Thank you.
Thank you. See, that's the spirit.
Yes. Does anyone else have any other suggestions? Renard, thank you for sharing that. Anyone else on the call have any suggestions? I know I see a few Michigan Works locations, a few tree service companies. We would love to have you participate. I think that's a great career to highlight. I know I have a friend's husband that does that career and he loves it. Anyone else would like to share any ideas or have any last minute thoughts or questions before we close it out?
Marcia, do you know if we're planning to promote the workshops that we have coming up, speaking of diversity?
Great segue, Sharon. Do you want to cover these?
Why don't you
Yes,
go ahead and do that?
absolutely. We can't miss this opportunity to let everyone know about. I was just going to say that there's the MEWDC. For those of you that don't know, we are structured around 4 pillars. And today you've heard from 2 of those pillars. You've heard from career awareness. You've also heard from communication. But we have 2 other pillars, diversity as well as education and data and standards. And so Sharon, here's the upcoming events. I'll let you talk more about them.
Very good, Marcia. Thank you. We've got 2 diversity workshops. We believe that there's a largely untapped workforce in our Native American community. And so we have brought in a top consultant using our grant funds to help us understand where they are throughout the state of Michigan, because they are everywhere, and how we can engage effectively to bring them into the fold of our workforce. And so you'll see 2 workshops scheduled for September 22nd from 11:30 to 1, and then again on October 13th from 11:30 to 1. That second one, I believe, lands right smack in the middle. Nope, the week before Careers and Energy Week. So, and then we have our Education Summit scheduled for November 18th. It's going to be at Myatt College of Technology in Canton, and that's really going to be our big event for the year. It would be our winter closeout meeting and a real showcase for us of energy and a conversation with our education partners and workforce partners. So it's really intended to be for our companies, our educators, and our workforce folks to come together around the career pathways in the energy sector. And that will be on November 18th from 9:30 to 2:30. And again, that's at Myatt. More details, registrations, things will be coming out for all of this. Keep an eye on your email. Marcia's going to be our official correspondent going forward. She was struggling with a computer issue last week and had a few challenges, but is on her way now. And so I think you'll be seeing some smooth communications coming out from her. And you'll be able to register for those workshops shortly. I think those links are live now for you to register. And with that, if there is nothing else, Marcia, I'm going to, oh, then here's Marcia's contact information and our website. Will we be emailing this out today, the presentation?
Yes, so absolutely. And again, just want to thank everybody for joining us today. If you think of anything, if you have any questions, if you need assistance, here's my contact information. I will either be able to answer your question or I will connect you to one of the subject matter experts that you have heard from today. And so after this event, we will be sending out the recording as well as the PowerPoint that will include all of the different links that we have talked about this afternoon. I'm going to update the presentation. Someone had asked about the dates of the events that have already been committed to and scheduled. So I will update the presentation for that as well. So you will have all of that information. And so that really concludes our webinar today. Thank you so much. We had a really good turnout for coming. We appreciate your interest and we look forward to the events that are going to take place for Careers in Energy Week for 2022. So maybe now with about 20 minutes left on lunch hour, typical lunch hour, you'll have an opportunity to get a bite to eat. But we appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Marcia, if you're still on. I see we have a couple of people still left, but I just wanted to comment to you